And I want to show to recognize the consistently pivotal role of conversational interaction. We see this at play in Genesis, the first book, where through a series of conversations we witness the fall of our species and the expulsion from the Garden of Eden. The conversation between God and man, the conversation between man and woman, the conversation between the woman and the devil, and so on. At the Georgetown team, we know the great importance and critical role that conversations often play in our lives on this earth. And thus, we will seek to engage in the types of conversations that are insightful, stimulating, and thought-provoking. And yes, occasionally, a tragedy, boring. Our hope is that at each visit to the tea house, we can become better aware of who we are, of our relationship with God, and where we stand with each other and the rest of humankind. And yes, through it all, there will be music. For music it had been written is the food of love, and God is love.
Good night, everyone, and welcome to the Georgetown Tea House. Yes, I said it. You saw the intro, and I'm welcoming you to the Georgetown Tea House. We're happy that you're here joining us, and with me is the lovely Lurlin. You know Lurlin. We want to welcome her back. And then we have a new beautiful face, our friend Shelly. Shells, we're happy to have you, and we welcome you to the Georgetown Tea House. Now, guys, you will notice the name, we had a little change in the concept, and it was just created so that we are able to delve deeper, and I mean deeper into issues that are affecting us. The kinds of issues that you would inbox me about or talk to me about offline. And we wanted to welcome you. The Georgetown Tea House is now an actual building that you're in. And you heard the name Tea House. So I encourage you to go grab your tea. Whatever tea you're drinking tonight, go grab it. You should have seen the instructions on the ad. Go grab your tea or a glass of juice if you don't like tea. Some people don't like tea. Like my friend Karen Kelman, she don't like tea, and she, always in my face about tea. She don't like tea. So I am actually having tea. I will talk a little about that. So I welcome you again. I want to see who is there. Let me see who is there. Guys, don't forget to go ahead and share the live. Share the live with your friend. Tag somebody and say hello so I know who is there. There you go. Karen Wells is in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, she's having ginger tea. And Alistair, we're missing you. Hi, Alistair. Alistair, what are you drinking? I love tea, Alistair said. Drink at least 4 cups per day. You see that? That's what I'm talking about. Shells, what are you drinking? What kind of tea you're drinking?
Lemon.
Oh, lemon. Just plain lemon? Plain old good lemon?
Honey and lemon.
Oh, honey and lemon. Okay. Honey and lemon. My mom is in the house. Hi, mommy. Good. And what are you drinking? I know you're a tea baby. What are you drinking? Talk to me, Lauren. What are you drinking?
My tea is
Hers is still brewing. Okay, Lurlin. Well, we'll soon know what you're drinking. Night to Nicole. Zonafet, thanks again for the cake for our giveaway for our Christmas special. And we're thankful that you were so kind Good night, Renita. What you're drinking? So, guys, drop in the chat what you're drinking. All right. Tonight, we want to talk to you about. We want to talk to you about how you're feeling. All right. But stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Okay, okay. Yes, Lorlene, your tea is finished brewing. Oh, Lorlene disappeared to get her tea brewed. Okay. We want to talk about how you're feeling, how you're doing. And today, when I posted the flyer, a friend of mine, Renita Jewsbury, she responded very thoughtfully. And I thought that, I will use, you know, or how she broke it down. I will use it as we discuss the whole issue of our feeling tonight. Um, I want to welcome you again, guys. Welcome to the Georgetown Tea House. Don't forget, go grab your tea. Go tell a friend that the Georgetown Tea House is back on with a name change. The Gospel Side of Me production, right? So go ahead and grab some tea and come and sit with us. Just join us because we want to hear from you. We want to know how you're feeling. All right. I want you to tell me in the chat. I'm going to I want you to, it's how you're doing, right? If we're to ask you to tell us truthfully, you heard the word truthfully, how you're feeling today.
That's right,
What would you,
Marcel. Truthfully, because oftentimes we ask, "How are you doing?" And the person says, "Okay." And sometimes we don't even wait to hear what the response, or the person's response might just be, "Okay, I am fine." And as Christians, we like to do here. We like to say, "Oh, I am blessed and highly favored," not
yes,
knowing deep down inside we are broken, and the same day we had a really bad day, or whatever the case may be, you know? So we
exactly,
want to hear the truth. How are you really doing?
really doing. You understand me? All right. So give us one word in the chat to describe how you're really doing. All right. Um, the I'm gonna hi Petal, good night, Petal and Alicia Carr. Those are our friends, and we happy that you've joined us, and we welcome you to the Georgetown Tea House. You notice the name change, the Georgetown Tea House. And I want to talk a little bit about the tea that I'm drinking. I am actually drinking mint. I'm actually having some mint tea. And the strange thing, mint is called mint, all kinds of names, eucalyptus, all kinds of things. And when you actually sit down to drink a cup of mint tea, oftentimes the thing got a different taste altogether, one brand to the next, It's so different. Have you ever realized that, Shells?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I tend to stick with one brand because of that, because there's one particular flavor that I'm looking for. So I stick to one thing so as not to have to deal with
What
that.
brand is that?
Bigelow. I love my Bigelow tea.
Oh my goodness, look how we there today. For I do not like Bigelow tea.
No, I love
I'm a
Bigelow.
celestial girl.
I
If
I
would
like
go with one of
Sleepy
the things,
Time. I like Sleepy Time for some of the flavors that they have, but when it comes to others, I like Bigelow.
wow. Don't like. I don't think the flavors are Nice. But look, one man's meat, they say,
It's another
is
man's
another
poison.
man's poison. What
But
kind of
then, but then I also have somebody who's on right now. My
yes.
sister who's on right now that
Welcome.
doesn't really use tea bags. She makes these teas from scratch. So this sister, I'm telling you, this sister will grate ginger in the morning and pour hot water and squeeze lemon and everything so
That's
that
my girl.
you
Yes.
know that
The real thing.
tea is organic. It
There,
is the real deal. My sister knows herself,
there you go. There
So
you go.
every now and again, I follow my sister and I make my tea from scratch, you know.
Beautiful.
Fresh
Beautiful.
tea.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna I was doing a little bit research on the mint tea that I'm drinking. So I'm gonna share the properties with you. There you have it. There you have it. I wanna go to the chat a bit. Okay. Wanna go to the chat a little bit. Oh wow. So we're looking at the chat and we have some responses in terms of the teas. Somebody was saying that Bigelows or twinnings.
Yes.
Yes, you never had. And somebody's asked me if I never had plantation mint. I never had that. I don't even know. I've never even heard about that. Have you?
No, I'm not familiar with that one at all.
Yeah. Let me see who else is. Oh, Novella Noble is saying good night. Plantation. I've never heard plantation mint. This is a strange one. Oh, Karen is saying awesomeness to the natural herbs.
Karen would. Karen would. And I'm not a big tea as in tea, where you have to brew or whatever. I like my I know the people would not consider this tea, but I like my hot chocolates and from time to time I would use chamomile tea. I would use peppermint, but if I'm sick or anything like that, because I don't like the after feeling that I have when I drink peppermint tea. Something about it makes me feel kind of weird, but I love chamomile. Of course, the dreaded ginger.
Yeah, ginger gives you a
when
good
you're
flavor.
sick, when you're sick, you're drinking that. I remember when I was sick, I had bronchitis, and man, I felt as though I was dying. And somebody brewed ginger with garlic and onions. Don't
Oh
let
my
me
goodness.
tell you.
No, no, that got to be
From the
horrible.
time, from the time it went, I don't, it didn't even pass my throat. It was back out.
That is hell. Because my mom, yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it's terribly tasting, man.
Yeah, that's horrible. I was about to say that my mom, if you got a gas pain, they would actually boil garlic with orange peel. They would remember back in the day, our old parents would
Mm-hmm.
dry orange, peel the orange and dry it, and then she would put a piece of the orange peel with the garlic, and then you have it. It actually expels the gas. I must say that, but I'm telling you, the taste is horrible.
But
All
you
right.
know, Marcel, when I was pregnant with my children, I had all day sickness, not morning sickness, all day sickness.
Oh wow.
And ironically, ginger tea is what saves me most of the times.
Wow.
Drinking ginger tea helped to, make me feel better and stuff like that. So it's not all that bad. It has its medicinal purposes.
Purposes. Yeah. I want to shout out somebody in the chat, Marlene Beck. Marlene Beck. And she's watching from Manhattan. She said in New York, New York. So she's asking, where is the tea house? My darling friend Marlene, the tea house is virtual and we're in the tea house right now. So welcome to our home. Welcome to the tea house. Welcome to the cafe. Right?
We
And
have Pastor Key Drakes online too, Marcel.
oh, hi, Pastor.
And Nicola and Pastor English.
Oh,
Nicola English, yeah.
yes. Happy
Yeah.
New Year to everyone indeed. Yes. Happy New Year to you. And Sandra, she says, good night. I love trying different flavors. I use a lot of green tea as they claim it's healthy. She says that. You
Marcel,
know,
remind them, let's remind our viewers that those that are not on Facebook, they can also view on YouTube as well.
yes, yes, we did the YouTube, and you can go youtube.com/Let's Talk Caribbean. That's the YouTube link. youtube.com/Let's Talk Caribbean. Let's Talk Caribbean is one word. So go ahead and don't
Hi,
forget to go ahead and share the live
hi,
so that
Shoya. Shoya, my friend Shoya is on all the way from Antigua. Hi,
I
Shoya.
share I'll be calling you, so stay close by. I'm tapping in. We will be tapping into all our friends from they say here and abroad, from here and abroad. All right. So guys, let's get cracking. We want to talk about how you're feeling. It's 1 year, almost a year in since we've been dealing with the dreaded COVID, and I know that it has not been easy. And though the first thing we want to talk about is the fact that we are thankful, all of us who are here tonight on the panel and on the live. We're all very thankful that we are here right now, that we are alive, and that not only that we are alive, but that we are well, right? So we want to talk about, you know, should we feel, be, is being alive enough? Should we not be upset or disappointed or angry or frustrated because we're alive? I want us to talk about, the fact that we're thankful. We are thankful. We're thankful for life and health and, you know all the other good things that we're experiencing. We're enjoying, for the want of a better word, at this very moment.
You know, Marcel, that's a very good question because coming as a Christian, it's like when you say how you really feel,
Yes.
sometimes it's as though you've cursed.
Ah,
People would say to you, but you're a Christian, you should be thankful. Well, at least you're alive, or at least this didn't happen, or, count your blessings, and that kind of thing. And oftentimes we are taught to just shift our emotions and how we're feeling. And because of that, our feelings and our emotions begin to burden us because we have not dealt with it in
Yes.
a healthy way. Some people, when they have these negative emotions, they keep it inside, they repress it, and they don't talk about it, and that is how you get illnesses like challenges like depression and anxiety, and even to the point of suicidal ideations and so on. And then there are those people who, when they have these negative feelings, they project it on other people. So they become angry and they hurt other people. Um, they say things that are mean to other people because they really don't know how to deal with it. So when we have these feelings, um, we should be able, if I ask you how you're doing, I mean, you don't have to tell me all your business, but we should feel comfortable to say, today is really not a good day, but I am making it, or I am trying to take it one day at a time, or even though it's a really bad day, I can see that God is still good because this is what He has done for me. And
Yes.
but we are not negating the fact that God is awesome, because He really is awesome. But oftentimes we suffer in silence because we don't speak, we don't say, well, okay, this is how I feel and I really need your help. Or we don't call our friends and say, oh, I really feel down today, like hell today. Pray for me, or, just be there for me, a listening ear.
But can I inject
Shells?
a little bit here, Larlin?
Yes.
Um, I think I'm not sure how you guys feel about this, but there are times when I feel like people believe that because we're Christians that we're not supposed to express that we feel depressed too, or that we might be hurting, or that this stuff may be affecting me, just the same way that it may be affecting somebody else. And so I believe that part of the issue is that because we're Christians and because people have those views, we tend to hold things in. So like you were talking about, Marcel. So
Yeah.
when we ask people, for instance, how are you doing today? Most people tend to stick with the superficial. Oh, I'm blessed and highly, like you said, I'm blessed and highly favored. Everything is right with my world. When really and truly beneath the surface, there's so much that's going on that's not being addressed.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Because Lauren could attest to the fact that back in the day, on one of our previous conversations, I was talking about the same thing. People ask you a question and you say, "Eh, I'm good, and I'm fine, I'm good." And I'm saying, wait, hold, no, 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 I'm not fine. I'm not good, right? Lauren would tell you, she would text me, and recently she texted and say, how are you? I say, on the covers. I ain't good, you know? Um, because you have to be like Lauren and yourself said, it is it is okay. I think it's okay to acknowledge that you're grateful, but grateful again doesn't mean that you can't say exactly how you're feeling, how you're hurting. You're thankful that you're alive, but that you wish things were different. All right.
Absolutely.
Yes. Let me
Um,
see.
you know,
Yeah. Go ahead.
so one of the things that we need to be mindful of is that right now we're going through something that there are so many people that cannot say that they've ever lived through a pandemic, for instance, right? And yes, I remember initially when we were first instructed to stay at home and stay in, right? I was okay with not going anywhere for a couple of days. I was okay with not having to go to
Couple of
work.
days.
I
Mm-hmm.
was okay with not having to go to school, you know. And so yeah, initially that peace and quiet and everything was really nice. But I really believe that too much of that can actually be harmful for us. We were created
Yeah.
to be interacting with others. We are
Social
created to
beings.
be social beings, you know. And if you look at how it's just natural for us to gravitate to other people. As soon as you look, we in a group in some way, shape, or form, right? We're all about groups and teamwork and interacting with other people. And so it actually, and I'm going to speak from like the medical perspective here now. It
Yeah.
actually says that research shows that this isolation, for instance, that we've been subjected to for the past couple of months. Well, not couple of months. It's what, nine going into 10 months now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It it's proven that isolation, it affects us neurologically and psychologically. It's responsible for chronic stress. Like Laurelyn was talking about all of these diseases that we're susceptible to when we're forced to isolate like this. Chronic stress, hypertension, all of these come from they feed off of that stress that we're placed under because this is not how we were intended to live.
No.
And that's one of the reasons, if we look at it, that's one of the reasons why solitary confinement is a punishment.
Exactly. Oh,
You know,
yes.
it's a punishment because this is not natural. So I'm saying all of this to say that it's okay for us to express that. Oh my goodness, at this time here, I felt so many emotions during this time. I've been anxious, I've been fearful, I've been oh
Yes, and somebody, Novella,
yeah,
Novella is saying the same thing. You see, she's echoing your sentiments.
you
She's
know,
she's been anxious. You've been
I
home.
have been.
Yes.
But at the same time, yes, I am grateful to God because at the same time, I remember feeling like this here was God giving me an opportunity to slow down.
Yes.
We live here, and our life a lot of times seems like, this rat race, you're just going every day and you're literally just checking the boxes daily. That's what you're doing. You're checking the boxes. But are we truly living, and living for Him? And
Yes.
so I felt like this was God's way of slowing us down and telling us, here, stop for a moment and look in at what's happening. So at the same time, though it's been so very difficult, it's been a blessing as well, you
You
know?
know, Marcel and Shelley, Sandra said earlier, she said that so many people are dying and they're sick, and many people are operating as though it is not real. And
Yes.
so many families are broken, not just as a direct effect of COVID 19, being sick and dying from it, but all of the other accompanying issues that are arising as a result of it. I
Yes.
mean, I remember looking at a video online where a father was talking about the suicide of his son. I think the boy was 11 or 12 years old. And so many people have these stories of how this pandemic is affecting them. And Shoya, my friend Shoya here, is saying that, and therein lies the gospel side of me. I love the way she put it. True
Yes.
Christianity is not void of challenges. However, how we deal with those challenges showcase to others God's true power in our lives. Christianity is real. I mean, look at the Bible. Tell
Exactly.
me, only this week I was talking, sharing some stories with my children about people in the Bible, and it's like each one of them had some sort of problem, self-esteem, denying woman issue, depression issue, some kind of
Exactly.
issue, to say it plainly, man issue, all
Yes.
kind of issues. But God used these people to minister to other people. Look at the woman at the well.
Yes.
We were looking at that story, and it's like the
You
woman
you
at the
remember?
well who had five husbands was the one who went into the streets and told the others, well, come see a man. They brought, she, the sinner, like we like to call people, brought
Yes.
the attention of others to the man Christ Jesus. And Marcel, look at the question Pastor Key Drake
Pastor
is
Drake,
asking,
for
right?
example, yes, I was asking him to read that for me. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think there are reasons why people seem not to want to share their true feelings? And those of you on the live can answer. The person asking the question at times could sound very superficial and matter of fact, like a normal question. So it's hard to think whether it's just a routine question or if there is any real concern as to how the person is really doing. Is there a way we should ask that question to get the desired answer as to how the person really is? This is a really good question.
It is.
Yes, a friend of
It,
mine was telling me this. He said to me, when he asks someone how you're doing and they say okay, he asks them about two or three more times
yes.
and he would finally get the
The truth.
answer. So maybe, Pastor Drakes, it is not the way we structure the question, but maybe is the emphasis we place on the answer that we're trying to get or seeking to get, the fact that we really care about this person. So we're not saying, how you doing, Shelly? And you're gonna walk in and ain't even waiting to hear Shelly, or Shelly say okay, and you run along and you say okay, all right, good. Well, but that's great. Ask Shelly again, Shelly. So tell me, how you really doing?
And
You
that's
know?
Elizabeth Lerland, that second question there is, I think, is what really makes the difference, at least for me.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a question that we tend to ask in our culture. It's a question that we tend to ask without really wanting the true answer. You're walking down the street and you see somebody, you say, how you doing? You know, we tend to do that naturally, right?
But
And
that's
so
fasting.
people are used to just saying, oh, good, good, whatever, in passing. People are used to doing that. So it's really very important to stop and ask that question a second time.
Alexi Craig has a variation to the question. Marcel, you want to read?
You can go ahead and read it.
Okay. She says, I have found that when I ask persons how they are coping with a particular situation, I get a more in depth answer. It leads to a deeper discussion. So I guess this question will come as a result of predisposed information about the person you are asking the question to, or maybe you would have heard, or whatever the case may be. All right. So I love that. And Anita is saying, Anita Thomas, welcome, Anita. Um, she says, yes, we are afraid to share to other women, especially because they are so judgmental. I prefer to share to a man. Well, look at that. Another side of the story.
Another side of the story.
And you know, we women, they like to say we women are bacchanalists.
We
we
will
like
get to it.
we like to share. It's as though we have this stigma of not being able to keep confidence, to keep people's inner secrets that they share with us. We think we are broadcasters, so we need to go tell it to the world. The only thing we should be telling to the world is about Jesus, not people's business. So I think that is a really vital point.
Pastor,
That
Pastor is saying, lol. I'm thinking he's rolling to finalist.
yeah. And I think that is something I've seen it a lot on Facebook, and people say it a lot now in terms of we women should be um our own like cheerleaders, the people who are in their corner the most, helping each other out, not bringing down each other.
Oh,
When
yes.
do you
We've
see we
spoken about
have
that.
right when we have when we have these issues, I must be able to call Shelly and Marcel and say, well, this is how this is what I'm going through. And this doesn't negate that you need to talk to Jesus. But we really need to be able to trust people, and that is one essential element that is missing from our world today.
Yes, it's not by chance. It's not by chance that God made not made me. He didn't make me alone. Sorry, it's not by chance. We need each other, right? If we needed Him alone, He would not have created anybody else. If Adam was gonna be there, happy and jolly by all by him, by his lonesome, he would have not have made Eve. We need each other. All right. I want us to move on a little to, if you guys don't have any other point on this, we want to talk about. She made a point about charity, and the need to give back in this pandemic. Right? Are we giving back? Are we giving back to each other? Are we sharing what we have? It's hard. I've said this before. I have been out of work for the last, since March. I can't even count. It's been so long. I don't even want to count now. Right? Have we really been our brother and sister's keeper? Have we been that for each other? We want to talk about that a little. The need to give and to not only check in and say how you're doing, but if we can help now, a lot of us, it's all of us who are facing this very difficult period, and experiencing this very difficult period. But we know that some of us are in better situations than others, right? So are we being our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper at this time?
Marcel, being our brothers or sisters keeper could take many shapes and forms, especially at a time like this.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about, the physical things that you can provide for, the next person who might be in need that really matters. We're talking about how people are doing at this time. And for so many people, it's not even about the money. It's about, or about, food or whatever. It's about their mental state. It's about so many other things that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
One of the things that came to my attention since this pandemic and so on. They talk about how the rates of domestic abuse and child abuse, child hunger, all of these things have escalated tremendously since the pandemic. So for me, it's like looking at all of these different things and how can we make a difference in those areas as well. So yeah, it's all well and good, that some of us have been able to give financially to those who might have lost their jobs, or their income was significantly reduced or something. But I think for me, what makes even more of a difference is just being able for somebody, being able to be there for somebody whose needs are not material. Picking up the phone and calling somebody. My family and I, we like to do like family drive-bys. We not necessarily coming in, but we roll by, we blow. We want you to come out and see that we hear, hey, how y'all doing? Everything good? We just wanted to see your faces, and at the same time, we get some fresh air, and those little things make a huge difference, to people, especially at a time like this, because we're all struggling through it.
Definitely. We've been talking a lot, so I will just play you something to encourage you. Hear my cry, oh Lord.
attend unto my prayer from the ends of the earth. When I cry unto thee, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than that is higher than For thou hast been a shelter for me and a strong tower from all my enemies. Oh, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than that is higher than that is higher than Lead me to the rock that is higher than Yes, lead me to the rock that is higher than
I love it.
Yes. Lead me to the rock that is higher than Yes. Yes, you were saying, Lurlin.
Now I was going to say that a kind of something that that I was impressed to share in one of my messages, that I was thinking about it, and I always used to feel as though I had to have a whole lot of money and physical resources in order to bless people and minister to people. And I've come to the realization that I really don't need any money. I don't really need any physical resources to be able to bless somebody. And if I have it, I will give it. But I don't need it. And oftentimes we think we need, oh, if I were rich, I would do this and I would do that. But you can be a powerful witness to somebody just by, Shelley said, calling them, by sending a message, by saying, I love you, I am thinking of you. Even the messages I would send out, you know, people would respond and they would say, well, okay, this blessed me, thank you, I really needed this, thank you for the encouragement. And like someone said earlier, the best resources that you can have is that of your time given to someone else. I
Yes.
mean, you could take out money out of your pocket and give somebody, or somebody, you can give them food, go to the supermarket and buy them food. But when you give them your time, it's priceless indeed.
Yes. Petal Davis is saying when you when it comes to giving, I think you can give what you can afford. My little son and I have been given an encouraging word. Um, I'm going to put it up so you can. Shell, do you want to read it out for us?
So Petal says, when it comes to giving, I think you give what you can afford. My little son and I have been giving an encouraging word in stitch. I cross stitch encouraging words and frame them nicely and give to random people. We haven't been able to do as much as we would like, but we do as we can, and people are appreciative. And that's so true. A lot of times it's not like that, like we said, in the money. It's just in those little thoughtful things, that we can make the world a difference.
Yes, definitely. Um, she was also talking about, Renita was also talking about the fact that we should not judge each other. right? Since we don't know what people are going through. Oftentimes we think that people, oh, poor person might be exaggerated and that kind of thing. But she's saying that, don't let us judge each other. Let us, because we don't know people's situation. We really, really don't, we don't know why somebody is sad and moping, you know. We don't know if they had a death in the family. We really don't know what is happening in their lives. And and so we want to refrain from judging, and just talking about people, that. Yes.
Marcel, the saying is true. You can't you won't know um, where somebody's house is leaking unless you're in the house, or
Yes.
you can't know how it feels to walk in my shoes unless
Yes.
you walk in my shoes. So do away with the judgments. And I mean, and when we think about it, when we are having our experiences, we want people to see us and to understand us and know that, okay, what we're sharing or what we're saying
Yes.
is really true. But when it comes to us reciprocating that, we
Yeah.
like to make a lot of analyses, and that can't be true, or um, this and that, and all types of stuff.
Yeah. I want to.
Just be
Yeah. Go ahead.
authentic and genuine with people. Yeah.
I want to say welcome to Esme. And guys, I encourage you to go ahead and click like on the broadcast and share with your friends. Let them come in on the discussion. Let them share how they're feeling. We're discussing tonight how you're feeling. It's been 1 year almost since we've been, experiencing the pandemic, and we want to know how you're really, really doing. How you do it, how your friends are doing, how you're coping, whether with work and school, the challenges that you're having with homeschooling. A lot of people, as I was reading, and I was saying, oh my God, it's a good thing I don't have school age children, because I do not know how I would have managed. But I'm going to come back to that, but I wanted to share a little about how I am feeling personally, and some of the things that I feel sad about and frustrated about. Simple things like from a simple thing like the wearing of a mask. The other day I was leaving the house, and I had gone almost to the bus, and I remember that I didn't have a mask, and I can't get on the bus. I can't get into where I was going without a mask. I had to turn right back, and I missed the bus that I was going to get because I had to turn back. I had to turn back. I couldn't go, right? The fear of going into the supermarket, right? No, the people got all kinds of views about the wearing of gloves. Oh, you just use a sanitizer. Gloves that transfer bacteria. All these things people tell you. So you're thinking, I'm not going to really use the glove. All right, but then you're fearful and you're concerned about who touched it before you got there, right? And you don't always remember to sanitize. We want to also talk about my other fear is you can't travel. The like you were saying, we're social beings, so we like to hug our friends. We like to invite our friends. We want to invite our friends, and these are the really serious. We want to invite our friends to our homes. We want to go to our friends' homes, but we're afraid. We're afraid of anybody coming into our homes. And when they leave, even our best friends, the people that we know for the past 30 years, we're spraying down the sofa in the corner. I mean, how have you got? It's really, really hard. We spraying down, we spraying the bottom of your shoe. You're coming in. You don't want to hug it. You're bumping either with the fist or your elbow or your little your elbow, right? I mean, you're tired of having to do that. But for me, the most frightening thing for me is the fact that my mom lives in Barbados, and if today I asked her the other day to speak to her, and I said, please don't get sick. Please don't get sick, because I can't come. Because if I come, if it's an emergency, and I get to Barbados. I got to have a negative result here. I got to go into Barbados. I got to quarantine, I think, for 3 days before, so that they can test me to make sure that I'm okay before I go to her house. And God forbid that I contract something on the way. Somebody hand my passport, give it back to me. Something happened. What happens to me? 14 days in quarantine, and so my mom could be dead by the time I actually get to her. So there are real issues that this pandemic, you know.
Real concerns. Marcel, you say that, and only this morning I was having a conversation. I'm not going to share with whom, but I was having a conversation, and what I was hearing from the other person was that um, they were talking to other members of the church who seem to be expressing more fear right now than persons in the world, and that the what I understood or what I heard from that was where's the faith
Mm-hmm.
of the Christians, at this time here, that we should be, those are the things that should be coming out of our mouths at this time, expressions of faith, because we're Christians, and God is a healer. And why are we not talking about the healing power of God at
Yes.
this time, with all that's going on? And I mean, I understood
Yes.
that perspective. I really did. I understood that perspective. But at the same time, one of the things that I was trying to express at the time was that the majority of the members of our church are in the medical profession. They're doctors, they're nurses, and they're on the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
And we've lost a number of members to COVID. We have church members that have lost family members to COVID.
Uh-huh.
I work on the front lines. Every time I go into work, you know, I'm not sure whether or not I'll be dealing directly with COVID patients or if I'll be on another floor.
Yeah.
But you talk about the fear, and it put me in a position where I almost felt that I couldn't express the fears that I had.
Because the person said that you're Christian.
Because as a Christian, apparently we're not supposed to express that this is how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But similar to you, I work on the front lines, and I'm coming into contact with COVID patients. I'm coming into contact with their bodily fluids. I can't see where COVID is, where the virus is. I can't see that. I'm in an organization where numerous other staff members have contracted the virus and had to quarantine or whatever. Thankfully, we haven't lost any of them, but they got sick. And so my fear is dealing with COVID patients and coming home to my family.
Yes.
Coming home to my daughter, coming home. I'm close to my mom and I check on her frequently, and I want to know that my mom's doing okay. But when I work and I come home, if I've come into contact with a COVID patient, I'm not going to my mom's house.
You see?
My mom is older, and
Yeah.
she has other health challenges that leave her susceptible to COVID. So my fear is not dealing with COVID patients. My fear is I deal with them, and my fear is bringing something home to my family.
Right.
And I don't believe that it's wrong for me to feel that way. I trust and believe that God is able to protect me. But what I'm seeing is very real.
Yes.
And I feel that because some people have not been exposed to COVID in that way,
a friend of mine said the same thing to
they're
me.
not understanding how serious it is.
Yes.
What's
your view? What's your take on that? What I've said?
Yeah, I really feel what Shelly is saying there. Um, I mean, I can't imagine how she and others may be feeling as they interact like every day on the front line. I mean, I have the option of staying in my house, and now in Barbados, cases are coming in more over the past 2, 3 weeks. There has been a more cases coming in and so on. And so school has not even reopened as yet. And I have the option to stay at home, but Shelly doesn't. And doctors don't, or other frontline workers don't. The people in the supermarket don't have that option. And and so I think it was Sandra Barker,
Yes.
she was saying that that is her beef, that people are not following the protocols. I remember going into lines and people all up in my grill, like,
Yes.
back away from me,
Yes. Oh
you
yeah.
know? And for that reason, I don't take my children. I mean, last October, in September, October into December, there was a little ease and so on. So I would rarely sometimes take them in and so on. But during the COVID times, I'm not taking them into any place, or I am not going anywhere where they have to interact with other people because they're small. My son is always with his finger in his mouth, or my daughter's rubbing her eyes, or something like that. And I too have to protect myself. And so I cannot imagine what you're feeling. And so I think we we are Christians, and we love God, and we believe he's an awesome God, and we believe that he protects his people. But however, we do have feelings and fears
Yeah.
that
And
we
God don't want us to go
experience.
foolish either.
And right, and when we experience those fears, like my friend Shoya says, that is where the gospel side of me kicks in. That
Yes.
those fears do not consume me or cripple me to the point where I cannot function. And
Exactly.
so there is where the power of God lies. When we
Yes.
have those experiences, we can embrace them. At the same time, we embrace the power of God to work in through us, to relieve us of those fears, to relieve us of those anxieties and so on. And that is where um, we should embrace the power of God.
Amen.
Don't say, okay, I feel like crap today, but okay, and we dismiss and go along. Um, those same feelings will emerge again, and sometimes they come out in us being angry at somebody. We say, well, why I get an also? Um, that's because you didn't deal with the problem before. And then as I mentioned in a quote that I sent out today, that there are those thoughts that we have that we don't need to dwell on either. We don't need to have them, think about them and process them. Those things you can replace them, and replace them with more positive thinking. But then there are those thoughts that you really need to process, or else they will keep coming back and
Oh
nudging you
yes.
and nudging you, and they will manifest themselves
In
in
different.
different ways.
Yep.
Right.
Cheryl, can you read the post if you can see it from Abigail McDonald for me?
I'm unable to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna put it up then.
Which,
Oh,
okay.
it says, I thought I was doing well until a postal worker showed up at the door at the exact moment that I opened the door to check my mail, and I had a panic attack. I jumped backwards as if the worker had the plague, scared for my life because he was unmasked. I apologized to him if I offended him and sat on the stairs and wept. I think we will require some type of reintegration therapy when the dust settles on this.
Hmm.
That said, it was a great experience for me because it forced me to find my center. I'm unable to see
I
the
guess
remainder.
that's it. My
Wow.
Yeah, it
she's
didn't say
unable
anything.
to. She was, yes, the center in all of this. Her
Oh,
So,
center in all of
all of
this.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see? It's sending it beginning to send us drive us crazy. You know, and our response and reactions to it is sometimes not, you know, not pleasant.
you know,
Rennie
I
Jewsbury, sorry, Rennie Jewsbury was saying thank you for your service, Shell, and we
oh,
appreciate you and all other frontline workers. And Sandra Barker, um, re, she, what you call that? She agreed.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Shell.
Thank you, ladies.
so what I was about to say was that, I can totally understand I can totally understand her response. Because there are persons who've been totally healthy, no issues, no health issues prior to getting COVID. There are persons walking around that are asymptomatic, and you come into contact with them and you contract the virus, and within 3 days you're dead. I mean, this is the reality for some persons, you know. So I totally get it. I can I definitely, give a person every now and again the stink eye when I see them without a mask, because I know the importance of it, especially at this time. Because so many persons are walking around that are asymptomatic, that have COVID. And the reason why we're not understanding, and I'm sorry, but I'm speaking from the medical perspective here, but the only reason why we're not seeing those numbers is because they haven't been tested. But if we were to intentionally go around and test, you'll see a whole lot more numbers. And it's just, that's exactly what the situation is. I mean, I'm not just trying to, tell you what I feel, but this is what I know. Because so many of the hospital that I work in, so many of the persons that we have had come up positive were not tested before. The reason why they were tested was because they came in for routine procedures. And because of COVID, we're testing to ensure that you don't have it before you come in there, because we already have persons that are sick in the hospital and that are, more susceptible to disease. So we got to test you before we bring you in there. And it's during that process that we're finding so many people that have COVID. And then during that process of isolation is when you start to see symptoms, you know. So I definitely understand where Abigail is and how she feels, because in a lot of ways that's how I feel. Lauren, you talk about going into the grocery store. I'm telling you, I need to walk with my daughter because she got to keep me from fighting some people, because as soon as you step up on me in the grocery store, I'm like, are you kidding me? Because I know.
Yes, because I was talking to a friend of mine today in London, and again, she's a nurse too, and she was talking about. She said it's crazy. It's only when you're there, you're on these wars that and you experience, and you can actually see what's going on. And I think because we've only a lot of us have only heard about somebody dying, have not seen um, you know, the real effects. Some of us might have contracted it, had a little fever, a little sore throat, lost a taste or a smell, and that's about it. But people who are really being affected, the amount of people, and for some people, this new strain that is out and all kind of thing, got different kinds of effects on people's bodies and the kind of thing. It just really is a really sad experience that we've been um, enduring, a sad place that we're in, and having to endure. You know, when I was talking about the whole thing of my mom being so far away, a lot of us got either brothers or sisters in another state or that kind of thing. It's a little different for us. We can still travel to most of the states, but if you're outside, a lot of these countries now got protocols in place, secure safety protocols in place, so to prevent further infection in their country. So I'm saying now that maybe as people we need to come up with a solution to ensure that our families are safe. If you can't get home, is there somebody that you can rely on? Do you have a friend, such a close family member that can hold the fort down for you in your absence? Because now as Christians, as people, as humans, and more so Christians, we have to, again, the whole being your brother's keeper, we have to be able to tap into other people who may be on the ground, that can actually keep keep things stable until you get there. Not like you're God, but until you're able to get there and do whatever it is that you got to do. You know, yeah. So it's just one of those difficult situations. But I wanted to, yeah, I just wanted us to talk about it because it's a real issue that we've been dealing with. We've not seen you guys for a while, and we wanted to check in to see how you're really doing. We're thankful again that you joined us. That you were here with us, sitting drinking your tea. I hope that you are drinking your tea like we suggested. I'm still nursing my um what was it I'm drinking? I forget what I'm drinking.
Mint.
My mint. I was nursing my mint. And look, twinings too. Nursing my mint. And I'm
All of them are those mint tea.
yes, but we're thankful that you're here. I'm just gonna I want Lorlyn, like she recently started, I don't know if you know, but she recently started a page, and I wanted her to talk about, because when you go to her page, the same kind of thing that we're discussing, you'll find inspiration whenever you're feeling down and out. If you go to that page that she's created, and I'm going to let her talk to you a little about it, you'll find that you would, I know for sure, because whenever I go to her page, I can always see something, one of her writings that really keep me grounded and focused, and give me the strength to carry on, to press on. So Lauren, go ahead and tell us about that project and page that you
So the
started.
page is called From the Heart Ministries. It was created during the pandemic, offer inspiration and encouragement to all. Um, Through devotional writings, I would do, and stories pertaining to my experience in some respects, or even everyday things that happens that brings about some measure of thanksgiving or inspiration to me, and so I share it. Things that happen with my children, and I find encouragement and inspiration there. This for the new year, I started a new series entitled Mind You. If you check my page, you will see it there. My personal profile page is my cover page, the writing for today, um, which basically will be encouragement regarding inspiration from God's word and practical ways and information regarding how you can take care of your mental health and minding you. The name of it is Mind You, meaning pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your mental state, your emotional, physical, spiritual, etc. So that's what it's about. And a new thing will be coming up, but I'll save that for another time.
Okay.
So Marlon, we see a question here from Rennie Dewsbury. She's asking, do we have to be your friend in order to access your page? I think you're on mute.
Sorry,
You're on
sorry.
mute.
No, you don't. From the Heart Ministries, you can just go ahead and join. And if I see you, like for example, I've seen people who like some of my messages, so I would just invite them to
Okay,
join
send
the
them
page.
messages, send them invites.
I do have a song, Marcel. If
I
you,
want you to, I was just about to ask you for that song, Lauren. Oh my God.
um,
Before you sing, Alexa Ferguson, no, no tea, coconut water instead. You
I
go, girl.
love
Enjoy.
coconut water. Love coconut water. Anyway, um, great is thy
There
faithfulness.
you go. There you go.
100. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hands had provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and the peace that endureth. Thy own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings of mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hands have provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
Oh, yes. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Today I was looking at hymns that we can sing that would give us comfort, not only us but our friends. And this particular song was one of those songs I said, "Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me." You know, it just shows so reassuring. And I know that despite all that we are experiencing, and will have to endure in the coming months until we're over this. I just want you to remember that great is thy faithfulness, that God got us, and it's difficult, but we're gonna make it, and He's gonna put people in our paths that will be able to help us, and we just got to just keep trusting. Um, I've asked, so Shell's gonna do a verse of a hymn for us that's going to encourage you as well.
So I'm gonna do the first verse of hymn 111 in our hymnal. It's a favorite of mine. It took a miracle.
Yes, I love that song. I love that song. Lordy, you remember I love that song, right? It took a miracle. Yes,
Yes.
love it.
I remember you talking about it this week.
Yep.
Okay. My Father is omnipotent, and that you can't deny. A God of might and miracles, 'tis written in the sky. It took a miracle to put the stars in place.
Oh, yes.
It took a miracle to hang the world in space.
Uh-huh.
But when he saved my soul, cleansed and made me whole, it took a miracle of love and grace. It took a miracle to put the stars in place. It took a miracle to hang the world in space. But when he saved my soul, cleansed and made me whole, it took a miracle of love and grace.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Amen.
My
Amen.
Father is omnipotent, and that we can't deny. A God of might and miracle, and it is written in the sky. It took a miracle to hang the world in space, and it took a miracle to put the stars in place. But when
Amen.
He saved my soul, cleansed it, and made me whole, it took a miracle of love and grace. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Shelly, for sharing that song. Thank you, Lord, and for sharing. Great is thy faithfulness, because at this time in our life, at this time in our history, that's the only person we can lean on. He put each of us as well to be our brother's keeper. And I gonna close. I want us to close with this thought for us to talk about it as we close. For us to pledge to be our brother's keeper, pledge to check in on somebody, pledge to be better, to wear our mask. I mean, it is hard. We know it's hard and difficult. To wear mask and to social distance and all these things that we must do in order to survive, in order to see tomorrow, the hope of seeing tomorrow, and not only to protect ourselves, but to protect others and the people that we love. So I implore you to just be the best you can. Be a sister's keeper. Be a brother's keeper. help somebody to make it to tomorrow. Help
Mhm.
somebody to make it to tomorrow. Um, I'm thankful that we were able to talk a little about how we're feeling, and not just how we're feeling, but how we're really feeling, and to understand it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be angry. I mean, um, people will come at me for it, but I think it's okay for me to be angry and upset because I'm not accustomed to this. I'm not accustomed to this. I'm accustomed to being free. I can go when I want, come when I like, and like you said, initially it felt like, oh, God knew I needed this rest. I needed it, and we welcomed it. We're accustomed to working all week, and we're gonna exhale on the weekends for some of us who don't work on the weekends. And on Saturdays, we actually either go to church, or for those of us who go to church, we got a lot of friends who go to church on Sundays. They go to church, make sure that they're going to church on Sundays and in the congregation to worship and to sing and to mingle. And suddenly all this being cut off. And we're on Zoom and we're bored as hell. After a while, we're just tired of Zoom. We're just tired of it. We want to see people. You want to hug somebody, you know. We don't want to say hello over the phone. We want to talk to somebody face to face, and it's frustrating. But we want to still be respectful of the time that we're in, and live to fight tomorrow. You know, yeah, live to
You
fight.
know, so Marcel, I just wanted to add to that. I'm going to look at this from two perspectives, the medical perspective, and then where we gonna look at little Bible perspective as well when it comes
Yes,
to
please do.
faith is an action word.
Yeah,
It's an action word. And we talk about so many things. Oh, well, the Bible says that we don't have to do anything physically like works, to earn salvation. And there again, I said I'm going to go Bible a little bit there,
yeah.
right? But I remember somebody using the story of a person that was drowning, that was praying and asking God to rescue them, rescue me. I'm drowning, and God delivered in the form of some kind of flotation device that came off the ship that this guy
Wow.
fell off of, right? And he did not survive because he did not reach for that flotation device that was there. All he had to do was hold on to it, right? All he had to do was perform that one action in faith to save himself, but he didn't. And I'm going to use that tonight to help us to understand why it's necessary right now for us to do what we need to do to protect ourselves and to protect those that are around us. I understand that it's hard. It's hard for all of us. I really, really dislike not being able to meet with family, meet with friends, and all of that. I'm struggling too. But the earlier we do what's necessary at
Yes.
this point here to protect ourselves and to protect others, the sooner we'll be able to come together again. Part of the reason why this is taking so long is because they got those people that you know are not understanding how important this period of time is, and those things that we need to do, how critical it is that we do those things, you know, to ensure that we're keeping each other safe. So I guess my point at this time is like, just like that man needed to,
Just rich.
reach out in faith, we need to do what we need to do at this time in faith. Put the mask on
Yes.
in faith that this is God's way of ensuring that we're safe right now and that we keep others safe.
Yeah.
Social distance, it's only for a time,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about there being a time for everything under the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, it's a time for social distancing. It's a time for wearing the mask. But most importantly, it's a time for us to stay connected. Stay connected, because at the end of all of this, God is in charge. And I believe that ultimately all of this is for his glory. It's not for anything that we're going to ever do, but
Oh,
it's
understand.
for him,
Yes.
you know?
Thank you so much, Shells. Thank you so much, Lorlin. We're gonna close with you.
I just want to just welcome a few people, and then I'm gonna
Yes,
do my
please do. Please
closing.
do. You must welcome our friends.
Lenny Waldron,
Denise, yes,
and
this is my friend from Barbados.
yes, Pastor Beckles, Leon
Hi,
Beckles,
Pastor Beckles.
yes, and
Please keep
Fenton Park.
near to your phone because for your message because I'll be tapping into you soon.
Yes, Fenton Park was on. Well, I'm not sure if he's still on. And then we had Pastor Conrad Bob Semple and Michelle Kendall.
Thank you,
Welcome to you
Pastor Bob
guys.
Sample. He was streaming it from his page as well, from a broadcasting studio that he recently
Okay.
set up. So we
Great,
thank you
great.
for that, Pastor
Yes.
Sample.
For me, the only thing I would like to say today is tonight, sorry,
Mhm.
is that you don't have to be in a really good place to minister to somebody. You don't have to have it all together
Mhm.
to show compassion and love and inspire somebody else. You could be dragging in the dust,
Mhm.
and your determination and perseverance in itself to continue to move even though you were dragging is enough to inspire somebody.
Yes.
And so I think that each of us can do something in our darkest moments, in our brightest moments, in our in between moments to inspire somebody during this time, because it's a really tough time all around, and I can attest to that. And so any little thing that you can do, and a friend of mine, I remember Pastor English told me when I was starting my ministry, she said to me, don't look at how many people
Number.
respond to your message. Don't look at how many people follow you, the numbers, nothing like that. If it is one person you're able to minister to, you have done you have fulfilled your purpose. You have done God's will. And you we are just messengers. We are just the people who God uses. He is the one who through our messages inspires, because he gives us that purpose. He gives us that purpose. So he is the one who will inspire, who will encourage, who would create so many beautiful things for others through our lives. So don't take yourself for granted. You can be used by God. You can be used to minister, to do something to help somebody. And like somebody said earlier, I like what they said. Cook a dinner and
Yes,
take it to somebody's house. Use whatever you have and give it.
definitely. Okay, we've come to the end of another edition of the Georgetown Tea House, a production of the gospel side of me. All right. Do join us again next week, and we're looking forward to. Let me put this out here. We're looking forward to seeing Miss Kelman. We missed you tonight. We missed you. And I know our friends missed you tonight, but I know why you're out. But we miss you, and we hope that all is well with you and at your end. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I noticed we had a lot of people that I was not familiar with, Emma and some other names, and we're so grateful that you came. You came on tonight. We're happy that you joined us, and please come again next week. Monday at 7:30 for those of you who are in New York. I can't even say the US, but New York, 7:30 in New York. And for the rest of the Caribbean, I think it's 8:30. So come along with us. Bring a friend. Bring a friend. Don't come alone, man. Bring a friend. You know the kind of time that we're in. Somebody else wants to hear good music. Somebody else wants to be blessed with a thought or something. So do come and bring a friend. Bring two friends and join us. And again, we thank you and we love you. We're happy that you spend time with us in our cafe. So to you all, we say a blessed good night to you.
Good night, everyone. And
Bye.
thank you, Pastor Beckles, for your note.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Pastor Beckles.
Examine any profound event in the Bible or in the history of Christianity, and one is sure to recognize the consistently pivotal role of conversational interactions. We see this at play in Genesis, the first book, where through a series of conversations we witness the fall of our species and the expulsion from the Garden of Eden. The conversation between God and man, the conversation between man and woman, the conversation between the woman and the devil, and so on. At the Georgetown Tea House, we know the great importance and pivotal role that conversations often play in our lives on this earth. And thus, we will seek to engage in the types of conversations that are insightful, stimulating, and thought-provoking. And yes, occasionally a trifle